the next steps, what you can do. Here with that, what you need to know is attorney Melissa Fleischer, founder and president of HR Learning Center, a consulting firm which provides training on a number of human resources issues, including workplace violence. Good morning to you, Melissa. Thank you so much for being here. Your reaction to what I just talked about, all the warning signs, what do you think?
Well, that's a great question. And first I want to say that, of course, our hearts and our prayers go out to the victims and their families in this horrific incident. There are always warning signs. When experts analyze all of these cases, like Virginia Tech, like Fort Hood, they always find warning signs after the fact. And the problem can be is that managers, employees, they don't know what to do with the warning signs. But I'll give you some examples of warning signs. So sometimes it can just be a sudden change in behavior. Someone's friendly and outgoing, and all of a sudden they're sullen and they're withdrawn.
Yeah.
Clearly something's going on.
Well, police say he had, he was a troubled patient, that he was hearing voices. He said the microwave actually stopped him from sleeping, that he was paranoid. A couple of actual managers that were interviewed after this incident say that about him, but yet they stopped. So what we want to know is, are people not trained enough to spot the warning signs, and is there not protocol set up in place in regular work environments to stop something like this from happening?
And that is a great question, and that is what it's all about, and that's what our company does. We provide training to managers, to employees. All employers should be providing this on an annual basis to their workplaces, training so that everybody knows how to properly respond.
So what's the protocol?
The protocol is, and this should all be set forth, of course, in the organization's workplace violence policy, the protocol should be to whom you report. Usually it's going to be human resources, it's going to be your security people, and then they should actually conduct safety drills, maybe every month, every 3 months, where everybody in the organization knows exactly what to do. So there is no chaos, and they know how to respond when an incident of violence occurs.
If that person is dangerous, has a threat, has a gun, is that when you have to spring into action, and that plan then goes into effect, obviously?
And that's a great question as well, because it's not just when someone has a gun and someone's violent, but people need to understand that the definition of workplace violence is so much broader than even severe cases.
So
like
if
that.
it's a verbal thing that we're dealing with, how do you diffuse a situation?
Great question. So you want to use methods that, of course, the employees and managers need to be trained on with regard to de-escalating a situation, calming people down, not escalating the situation, and trying to remain calm. Also trying to find other people in your organization that you can reach out to get help. You should install safety measures in your workplace, panic buttons, and there should be an emergency notification system. Virginia Tech was actually in the process of getting that right when the massacre happened at Virginia
I think time and time again we continue to cover these stories, so I think something needs to be done. But what people don't know is, what are their rights? Do employees have rights when it comes to something like this? Because a lot of people feel nervous to speak up.
That's a great question as well. And sometimes what happens is you can train people about the warning signs, but they don't know what they should do, and they're scared of, like you said, being a snitch. So you need to train them, and there should be an affirmative obligation in the policy so they know, no, you are not being a snitch. As a matter of fact, you must report it. Better to err on the side of caution than to come in the next morning and find an incident like what happened at the Navy Yard and have that blood on your hands.
Well, President Obama did come out yesterday and say that the shortfalls and what happened in D.C. Is definitely something that they're going to be looking into regarding security lapses, screening. It's also going to prompt the White House and the Pentagon to order a global review. So hopefully something will be in place to prevent things like that from happening on military bases. Thank you so much for coming in and giving us some information so we can arm ourselves and better protect people that we work with.
Thank you.